Just going to give everybody about 5 seconds of us drinking coffee.
Yeah, and I'm drinking my Douwe Egberts.
Douwe echt. Oh,
You know this, right?
gross.
You remember
Yes,
that.
I do. Yes, I do.
Yeah,
Oh my gosh.
don't you love Douwe
Ah,
Egberts?
what I remember, this is still a story I tell.
Mm,
Lowlands, and you can buy this sticker, this decal that goes on the side of your tent or wherever you are. And
yeah,
it's not expensive at all. And at like 7 uur in the morning,
yeah,
people start coming through with enormous backpacks with pumps,
yeah,
and they're all saying coffee, coffee, and people are stumbling out, and we stumble
yeah.
out. And it doesn't matter what your coffee cup looks like. If you have your own cup, they fill it. Otherwise, they've got a whole stack. It's the most amazing thing
Yeah.
I'd ever experienced in my life.
Well, my friend, that's exactly why the Dutch invented the festivals as we know nowadays. That's exactly why, because those are the details that make the experience awesome. And we can make an episode about that
We will,
because
and
oh my
and
God,
we will,
the
and we
invention of
should.
the festivals. Yeah.
We
So
definitely the festival episode, everyone watch for it because it's
yeah,
going to be a fun one. There's so much just we could
yeah.
dedicate a half a dozen episodes to Lowlands.
Oh yeah.
There's so
And no,
much to
and
talk
and
about.
yeah, yeah. And no offense, America. I'm sorry, but hey, you guys had Woodstock. You were the first one with the big pop concert events ever in the world, but we took it to perfection.
Well, you did. You did.
Yeah, we
So
did.
so it's
Awesome.
it's a bit like Walt Disney. Walt
Ah,
would be the
yeah,
first person to tell you that he didn't invent anything. He just looked at a thing and said, "Hey, I can make this better." And
yeah.
you certainly did. You
Oh my
you there
gosh. Yeah,
because one of the things I found really amazing was even though the price for the ticket to get in kind of expensive. You got to
Oh,
plan. You got to plan all year just to save the money, but once you get in, food prices and drink prices weren't so exorbitant. They weren't so expensive.
yeah,
You spent all your money on your ticket, and the only
yeah,
way you ate was by digging through garbage cans. And I remember,
yeah,
I remember the second time that I went, that the fact that food was so inexpensive and drink was so inexpensive, and they had free water for people, which is the thing you would never hear of. And the
yeah,
the
yeah,
the
yeah,
thing
yeah,
with encouraging recycling and
yeah,
collect 20 cups, get a wooden
yeah.
token good for food or drink. You would never
Right.
see that
Yeah.
in America. You would never
Nee.
see that. Never.
Although, unfortunately, I must say, all that has happened, changed
Yeah.
throughout the years as well.
Yeah.
So, yeah, getting in there, it takes a lot of money. Now it's around 280 euros to get in there for one weekend, and the food and the drinks are also crazy expensive. So it's not. And I'm sad to say that because it's not for the regular guy, girl anymore. It's for the yups and for the people with big pockets.
That's
And
too
that's a
bad.
real shame.
Yeah.
On the other hand, there's also this big movement coming from the ground up, like grassroots,
Yeah.
who are trying to reverse the whole commercial festival scene, so to speak. There are some small festivals that are trying to get hold of the of a little portion of the festival events market, so to say, and that's in its infant shoes now. So it's going well. So they're going back. Like you can go there for like maybe 100 euro. you get in there, the food is reasonably priced as well as the beers and everything. So yes, there is a change going on. I'm happy to say. So we'll see
That's
how
it.
that develops. Yeah,
That, you know,
but
that
the the
that's a
camp,
good
yeah,
idea, and it's the kind
yeah,
of thing that's probably going to take time
yeah,
to really get traction. But it reminds me of
mm,
how some musical acts refuse to
mm,
use certain ticket selling platforms because of the
right,
service fees and the other things that they charge, that they've created their own platforms to sell tickets. You know,
yeah,
they even price the tickets lower
yeah,
because they want to make it accessible
mm,
for everyone. And I like hearing that, because I think it's a
yeah,
dangerous thing when you start targeting a certain market,
mm,
your high affinity market. It's like we're going after the people who have lots of money. Well, the people who have lots of money are going to do it once,
exactly. Yeah,
because if it's
yeah,
not a terribly impressive new experience, they're not going
yeah,
to go back. It's a thing that, it's a thing that I spoke about with a friend, I think a couple of weeks ago. We
mm,
were talking about this, and I don't know if you and I talked about it as well, but it was this new concept that Disney had created called the Star Cruiser, and it was basically a land cruise. You showed up, and you had this experience for 2 nights interacting with all these Star Wars characters, and it was beautiful. It was
yeah,
beautiful. It was
yeah. I can
beautiful,
imagine,
but, and there's a
but
great documentary on it, on, I think it's on YouTube, and the girl spends, she is methodical and empirical in doing the research and talking about where it went right and where it didn't go right. And it's amazing when you see the footage of how beautiful the interior of this place is and how it's all set up and all the things you can do. You go, wow, that's amazing. One of the places they failed was the price point. And at one point on another podcast, we were talking about this exact thing. And we calculated the cost for a family of four to do this experience, stay 2 nights on this Star Cruiser that travels through the galaxy. To
oh my
do
God,
that,
wow,
it
yeah,
cost as much as if the same family did actually, at the time we calculated they could have done two 3-night Disney cruises for four and a day in the parks for four, and still had money left over.
man, that's so
That's
surprised.
how expensive it was. And as a result,
Yeah, people
it
don't
only
come.
lasted 18 months.
Yeah, that's a
This
shame.
experience closed after 18 months. And
Yeah, yeah, I know exactly what happens because they
yeah,
don't want, we don't want to. They want to make something that's really, really awesome, and for that you have to invest, and then the ticket prices obviously go up and up and up and up,
right.
and then it becomes this self-eating monster. Like it bites his own tail, it eats his. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes,
Because it is great, it's awesome, but it's too expensive, so.
right.
People are gonna go and calculate and go like, maybe I will do this, but I'll maybe better do this. Get more money for my
What
more worth for my money,
that
and
right there?
that will
What
always go wrong.
what
And
does
then, but it's the same with the festivals right now in the Netherlands. They've
exactly?
bitten their own tails because they want to make it better and cooler and everything, and up until a certain level, that's okay. But it's just like in an economy of a prosperous country like we live in. Yeah, it's always want to grow. The economy has to grow, but that's not necessarily a good thing. If everybody's happy and
I
okay, and you have a good life, you can buy lots of nice stuff. That's fine. Why is it always has to be better, better, better?
well,
It's
here's the
always
thing. Here's the
or
thing
like this
again.
and down.
This is something I talked about just this week. I was telling someone the U.S. economy engages in something called forced obsolescence. We will sell a thing and keep dropping the price until there's no more interest, rather than adopt the new technology and make it available for everyone at a reasonable entry
Yeah,
price. We will
exactly.
bring that new technology on board and charge ridiculous amounts of money for it. And a great example, there's two actually, is I tell people when I lived in the Netherlands was already using SIM cards, chip cards in debit cards and in cell phones. Already using them in cell phones. They were making flat screen TVs available, and these things were niet so duur. They were not expensive. Here in the States,
Right.
here in the States, it took us 3.5 to 4 years to adopt the same technology. And there's no reason for that because we
No.
always talk about how advanced we are, but when you have this economic money machine designed to make you
Yeah.
think you need the best, the newest, the most important thing that's coming out because it's going to change
Right.
your life forever. That's
Right.
why you have this really bizarre
Hmm.
consumerism thing. You and
Yeah.
I are both the same mindset. I'll use your beautiful map backdrop behind you as an example. You had this idea either because you'd seen some things or it just popped into your head and thought, I'm going to do this. I'm going to invest my time and energy and create these things. I'm going to create high production value rather than just hand a blank check to someone else to do it. And if you got the money to do it, that's fine, but are you being smart with your money when it's the thing I never understood when I was doing the stunt show is every time a new phone would come out, I'd hear about someone going, "Yeah, man, I waited in line 2.5 hours just so I could buy this $1,000 phone," or
Right.
the new game box is coming out, and they're like, "Yeah, I
Yeah.
needed to get this," and then I hear him going, "Yeah, yeah, I can't go out with you guys to Epcot afterward because I'm broke."
Well, completely ridiculous. Why the hell do you want to wait in line 2 hours for a freaking phone or something else for that matter? I
So
no,
my
I never
phone,
understood that either. Yeah.
my phone, the last phone I had was also a Samsung, and it was a great
Mm.
performer. And I only wound up having to replace it because I had dropped it in just such a way the screen had cracked, and I had the screen replaced, and it still didn't behave like it used to. But
Yeah.
I had had that phone for almost 6 years.
Wow.
Yes,
That's long. Yeah.
that phone owed me nothing. It still works because I still have it. But that
Yeah.
phone owed me nothing. And when I went to my cell phone carrier, and this is another
Yeah.
thing I love to, living in the Netherlands, and every time I would travel back, I would bring a phone with me. I would buy a pay-as-you-go SIM card, which wouldn't cost me more than, maybe, I don't know. I'd pay maybe 30 euros for a little SIM card, pop it
Something.
in.
Yeah.
Incoming phone calls were free. So people could
Yeah.
call me and
Yeah.
and talk for hours.
Mm.
You will
Right.
not have that happen with a pay-as-you-go in the States, which
Nope.
is really, really a fascinating thing. But when I realized I had to buy a new phone, I went to my carrier and I said, "Listen, I'm looking to upgrade." And I was like, "Oh, well, you're in luck. We have this great phone right here." They wanted to charge
Yeah.
me $525 and put me on a 2-year contract. I said, "Why? I have been with you
That's
guys."
ridiculous.
Yeah,
It's way too much
it's
money.
allowed. It's allowed here. I said,
Yeah,
I
it's
have
too
been
much.
with you. I have been with you all since way back. And I told him how far back. And I was like, "Well, this is the best we can do." I was like, "Okay, well, screw that."
Yeah, yeah.
So I went online and I found an online store that imports their phones from Europe, Spain,
Yeah.
Portugal. And so I
Uh-huh.
wound up getting this phone that has probably four times as much memory and power as the phone they were going to sell
Mm.
me, and I paid a third of the price.
There you go.
And what's fun, of course, is the keyboard because it's a European phone. I can pull up, I don't know, a dozen and a half different languages if I'm typing something,
Yeah.
which is pretty funny. But there's more built into it, and I don't have to pay extra for it. And I'm not going to slam the U.S. mercantile mindset when it comes to things like that because there's a good side to it as well. But when you start engaging in
Yeah.
money grabs, you start excluding the biggest body, which is
Mm,
the people in the middle, people like you and I. We're actually we are the fuel that makes any economy, any business
mm,
go.
yep.
Real quick, the airlines, one of the major airline CEOs here in this country was talking and he said something that no one else has ever admitted. You know, they always talk about first class and business class and all the money they make.
Mm,
Their meat and potatoes, the way they stay profitable, the way they make money so that they can continue to support and grow and innovate
mm,
is by putting butts in those seats and coach. And they said,
mm,
we're seeing a decline in that because
mm.
maybe we're charging too much money. And
There you go.
Iger even said that. Bob Iger, who's the CEO of the Walt Disney Company, a few months ago, had
Mm.
commented that it's possible Disney is getting too expensive.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. There it is. It's the monster biting its own tail.
Hmm.
Being successful, making more money, and trying to innovate, make it more expensive. So your break-even point will go up, and then the whole
Yes.
shebang goes.
Yes.
It's an upward spiral, and the money goes downward spiral. Yeah, yeah. That's hey. But a question I wanted to ask you about the phone prescriptions. How much would you pay for a monthly fee if they charge you 500 for a phone? Is that a new phone? It's a second-hand
So
phone.
they'll charge you for a new phone, and then your subscriptions can
So how many minutes for how much money, for
oh
instance?
well, most most pay as you go. It's been a while since I've had one, so I would be lying
Okay.
with
Anyway,
anything. But I'll tell you
so
I'll tell you what I
yeah,
remember. I remember the more minutes you buy, the less expensive it is per minute. So usually I would
right.
buy 100 to 150 minutes at a time, and I would pay anywhere between 20 cents and 30 cents a minute. This is another way. This is another
Yeah.
way, and that's both ways, incoming and outgoing calls. But this is another way that pay-as-you-go companies would get you. And I
Uh,
don't know if this has changed or not. I can't imagine it hasn't because it's a big profit engine for them. They require you to continually renew your minutes. Your minutes aren't good forever. If you don't buy new minutes
I
every three
see.
months, the minutes you
That
have
sucks.
go away.
That sucks. Well, of course, that's here the
America,
same.
baby.
But yeah, okay, I know. But it's the same here. So that's not a big problem for me. The big difference here is that for instance, you take a 2-year prescription, but then you get the phone for free.
So,
Ah,
so they do
and then
something.
on top of that, listen, on top of that, you get as much phone calls if you like.
Yep,
It's the same amount of money. You can vary your amount of gigabytes, of
yep,
course,
data.
and you pay for the gigabytes and for the amount of calls. Nee. You pay for the amount of gigabytes and you pay for the phone
Right.
for the calls.
So we
But that's
have,
always, this for all for free. It's all the same money
yeah,
every time, every month.
we have, if you buy a phone that's not pay as you go, they will tell you it's free. And what they'll do is they'll typically they will lock you into a contract, and you're paying some kind of a fee for the phone every month for 24
Yeah, yeah,
months.
yeah. Of course, that's the same
Yeah,
here.
so
But that is built in your
it is.
monthly
It's built
fee.
in. But
That's
you
no
can
problem.
also you most providers, whether you're talking about uh T-Mobile, Metro PCS, uh uh what is it? Singular Cellular, AT&T, any of these companies, uh, Verizon as
Yeah,
well, I
yeah, yeah.
guess. Anyway, they also have tiered usage plans. Most all of them have free minutes for voice, for
Mm,
conversations and unlimited
yeah,
text messages, but it's the gigabytes, it's the data usage, and what they'll do
yeah, yeah,
if you have a small plan, they'll do something called throttling. And I don't know what the term would be in Dutch, but basically what they'll do is they create these choke points. Certain times of the day, your data moves much more slowly than
yeah, yeah, yeah,
other
yeah. Yeah,
times of the day. It's similar
that's
there.
also here. Yeah.
Yeah.
But what's also here, of course, you can. It's like this. If you're willing to pay a certain amount for your phone in advance, like say you pay 500 euros, that will be deductible on your monthly fee, of course. But there's also always a possibility to get your phone for free, and then you pay more in a month. See? So it's for everybody. Everybody, it's possible to buy to get a phone prescription. So of course you pay for the phone. Obviously, they're not gonna give it to you all the way for free, of course. But it's possible to do it like that. So that's the difference.
It
If there is,
sounds
yeah,
it sounds like most of it is pretty similar then. But so one thing I think is really fascinating is I don't I don't know, like when everybody came over for the wedding, I don't know if you used a travel agent or you looked online to
mm,
find someone, but uh Pamela was here with her partner and all of their kids, and
yeah,
they 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 came here. They stayed in Miami. They took a cruise. They went to Riviera Beach. They were in Stewart or Jupiter. They went to California. They came back, and I found it interesting that when she told me where she was going, it's like I don't know every inch of Florida, but I know enough of Central and South and other parts to tell you if you're looking to stay in a certain area, I would say
yeah.
you might want to look. And she didn't, and she said, "Well, this is where the travel agent told us to stay." And I thought that's interesting. That's interesting that you didn't have either the ability or the knowledge to be able to do the research on your own. Because the hotel where you guys stayed when you were here wasn't very nice. And they said they provided breakfast, and their breakfast was shite.
Yeah,
It
European
was like
breakfast,
stale. It was stale
continental
bread, and
breakfast.
oh, it was fucking excuse me for saying it, but I wouldn't call that breakfast.
And it sounds awesome. You go like, oh wow, continental breakfast.
Well,
Wow, that is
it
nothing.
was,
It's nothing.
when we went to Paris, and even when I went with uh Marcia and her husband, we the very first time I went
Mm,
was with you, and that was the first time I learned about uh petit déjeuner. And I went, what the heck is
yeah,
And it was like, oh, it's a little breakfast. But then you go and it's not. There's nothing little about it.
It's
there's lots of
big.
breads and cheeses and meats and jellies and it's like, oh, look at that.
Yeah,
That
it's
was
yeah, it is a name. It's like it's a name. It's not nothing petite about it.
no,
Yeah,
no,
right.
no.
Because you have the reference with the word petite. You go like, oh, small, but it's not nothing to do with the words.
Precis is not.
It
It's not.
is yeah.
Yeah,
It has all to do with déjeuner because
yeah.
there's different kinds of déjeuner.
Neat
There's
kleiner.
petite. Yeah, I don't like. I have to look it up. I don't know exactly what's the difference, but if you have a regular déjeuner or I don't know, interesting. Might look it up. Okay.
That's what I thought as well. Um, yeah, so that was fascinating, and it's interesting. There are I'm a Hilton loyalist, and I became a Hilton loyalist when I did the Kia University tour because my travel partner, had a ton of experience traveling because she would do
Mm,
maybe 300 convention days a year where she would travel the country, sometimes leave the country to talk about vehicles. Most knowledgeable, you would meet this little girl who was just friggin' she was 5'5",
mm.
and the day she put a whole showroom full of salesmen to shame and shut them up because they were talking out of their butt about what the car could do and what it couldn't do, but they were making everything up. And she goes, I'm sure what you're thinking of. And then she launched into this 5 minute spitting out facts about horsepower performance, where the engine was made, why it performed. And I just sat there quietly and listened as she just schooled all of these guys. And it was brilliant. But
And
she
that
was the
is
one that
funny.
said, you know what? We're doing this tour. The company is paying for it. You should you should create a loyalty program with one of the hotels. And she goes, I like Hilton. And I said, okay, well, I'm also going to like Hilton. And I love Hilton because
Mm,
they have such a large umbrella of brands. And almost anywhere I
mm.
go, I know if I have to go for a conference or anything else, that there is the opportunity to stay at a Hilton property where I'm going to wake up in the morning to a really great breakfast, and not
Mm,
stale not
mm, mm,
stale
mm, mm.
bread and a small thing
Yeah.
of yogurt. Nothing. No, I mean they really some of the Hilton properties, they've got omelet stations. Some of the Hilton properties, they have a,
Mm,
beer, wine, and cheese welcome every single night. Between 4 and 7, you show up and go to the bar and it's like, here, have a wine. And
lekker.
and yeah, yeah, it's wonderful. And I figure if you're going to spend that money and they're going to reward you for it, why the heck not? But I was amazed when I did the research
Mm,
that even the smallest places in France did this petit déjeuner, and it I thought it was really cool. I thought
mm.
even in the Netherlands, there were a lot of places where you'd wake up and there would be breakfast. Some of them even
Mm.
had an abbreviated dinner or supper. Really, there's, you know, I feel like
Yes.
there's a lot we could all learn from each other if we just paid attention.
Oh yeah, of course. Yes, we can. I immediately started thinking what that might be, but it's always when you're trying to think of something, you can't make something up on the
Pick,
spot. It's
pick.
always it.
You
Yeah.
pick. You know what? That
Well,
sound it sounds like maybe I'm gonna make a note about that because that sounds like a good topic for another podcast.
yeah, we have enough to yap about, that's for sure.
Because I'm writing this down. I think about just on an interpersonal level, I think about two things that I really tapped into because of you was my love of gardening, of creating beautiful outdoor spaces. Um, the confidence and courage to be able to say, you know what, I can do that. whether it's build a tiki bar or something
Mm,
else. Um,
yeah.
and the other thing was what and we were talking about this last week. I would say votum niet, which is a thing that I had heard, interestingly enough, from Leon, and you said, well, that's the negative because you're saying why not? What's the other side of that?
Waarom wel?
Votum vel.
Yeah.
Votum vel. And I
What
love
is
that. And we could get into that because I think about this expression that I hear people say all the time, no worries. And I tell people, it's like,
Yeah.
here's the thing. I know what it means. You know what it means.
Yeah.
But the brain is saying, wait a minute, you're using two negatives. How do I
Yeah. I know.
process this?
But that's the funny thing. There's a deeper meaning behind it because it's an
Yep.
abbreviation of the. There's a term. It's called waarom niet, and it kind of says, well, why not? It's exactly the same as in English. Well, why not?
Yeah.
Uh, You turn something like, should we do it or shouldn't we do it? You turn it into something like, yeah, what the fuck? Let's do it. Waarom niet? You see? And so that's funny. So the negative, as in niet or no, it is a positive thing because you go like, yeah, let's do it. Let's
This
do it. Waarom
this
niet?
this
And
reminds me of another expression.
the other way around, listen, if you say waarom wel, you go like, yeah, yeah, what the fuck? Why should we? See, there's a difference. So if you say waarom niet, it's a positive, like, yeah, let's go for it. Let's do it. Let's be positive about something. You see?
Yep.
And if you say waarom wel, you go like, yeah, yeah. Why should we? Waarom wel?
So
This is it.
this is
See, it's
exactly
the
the
difference.
in English as in Dutch, geen probleem.
Geen probleem. Ja,
Two negative words, no and problem.
yeah, why niet? Waarom niet? Yeah, it's the same thing.
Uh, hey, guess what? We're at the end of another lovely session of two old friends chatting.
Yeah, talking about basically nothing. Why not? Why not? Waarom niet?
There,
Ja,
yeah,
waarom wel? Well,
yeah.
if we look at it from a perspective of waarom wel, we should be doing this, but we do. So, yeah, and it's been
Bottom neat.
a long
Bottom
time,
neat.
yeah, a long time coming.
Yeah,
A lot of things happen in the world and in our lives as well.
truth. We're going to
Yeah.
well, and we're going to continue this for sure.
Yeah, and
Um,
that's exactly the reason why we went away for such a long time.
true. Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. We'll uncover that as we explore and go further. Um,
Yeah.
any closing thoughts or words, my friend?
Yeah, let's hope this is the first one of many that we're going to do in the
Yeah,
future. Yeah,
yeah.
and hopefully the world's going to be an even better place as it is today.
Well,
Let's hope it.
we're gonna start with us.
Yeah,
We'll focus. We make our immediate world better, and then
yeah,
one person at a time, it gets a little better.
yeah, and let's ignore all the negative shit that's been going on in the world and
Yes. Yes. Yep.
talk about fun stuff,
I
about
agree.
family and friends and life
I agree.
and living, enjoying life and
Yep.
whatever,
Yeah.
enjoying people that we almost lost.
Yes.
And
Yes.
I'm talking about someone who's in the room.
Yeah. Yeah. I know.
Yeah,
All right. Let's
she got lucky. Hè, Sig?
yeah, well,
Yeah,
she's also lucky to have people like you and Yvonne.
you're lucky. Yeah, we still have you around. Yeah,
Yeah.
we'll we can talk
But
about it later if you.
but she's
We'll keep it
also
anonymous. Yeah.
lucky to have people like you and Yvonne.
Ah, that's so sweet. You know
No,
what he
I am
said?
not. I'm not incorrect.
Ah, well,
Okay,
okay.
okay.
Well, as
Everybody, we're
likewise.
going to talk about this too because this is pretty important. So we'll let's wrap this and jump into another one, and in that other one, the next one, or maybe the one after that, or maybe the one that happens two times after that.
Oh, or
We'll
after that.
All right. Well, On that note, everybody, thank you for tuning in, watching, listening while you do the
Yeah.
housework or dishes,
Mm.
or make feverish scribbling notes because there are things you want us to talk
Yeah.
about and you can't wait to share. And as Stone would say, be sure to click like and
Like and
subscribe and tell
subscribe
your
and share
friends.
it with all your friends. Yes.
Yes, all of them. All of
By the way, what are you up to for the rest of the day?
Well, I don't know, but I know this is about to end. So let's say goodbye for starters.
Uh, uh, of
Every,
course. Goodbye.
goodbye.
So that's it. That's all you're gonna do for today. Say goodbye. That's it.
Later,
What the?
everybody.
Yeah, later, everybody. Well, you want to know what I'm going to do for the rest of my day? You're not
I
interested?
do, but you know what? Everybody else isn't going to find out. He's going to tell me in private. Bye.